Thanks for checking out Wayne.com for another edition of Inside the Zone with Justin Kinney. I'm Glenn Marini, and it's week 5, so we're like 50%
Moving right
done,
along,
essentially.
Right? At halftime of this week,
season.
we will be halfway through the regular season. So
that is true. Great math skills that they taught at Northside High School. Much respect.
Crunching the numbers.
Let's crunch the numbers on the SAC's big game this week, which is Carroll at Snider. I think we've been waiting for a couple of weeks to see this one, obviously pending on how the Carroll Homestead game turned out last week. How important this game would be determined based on that. But Carroll, Snider, what do you see in this one? Because Carroll's defense got to come to play against the Snider offense. Yeah,
it's going to be another game where it's just a shootout, and I guess slowing down that Snider offense, it sounds good in theory, but until somebody does it, where it's kind of just a moot point. So can Carroll do it? I don't know. They've been giving up quite a lot of points the last couple of weeks too, so it's kind of a shootout. I think Aiden Smith and Carroll have it in them to score a lot of points, but can they score more than Snider? I'm not sure.
When you take a look at Snider, it's not the first. They don't beat you in the first quarter when they play a good team. They don't beat you in the second quarter. It's the third quarter when the depth wears on you, when they just grind you down. Lures found that out in week 1.
Yeah.
Concordia, I was at the Concordia game this past week. They had a little trouble with Concordia early on, and then you get to the third quarter and fourth quarter, and they are just pounding you. How do you keep it up? I mean, because Carroll's a 6A team, they have some depth. Maybe they're more well-equipped to play against a team that is going to try to grind you out and beat you in quarters 3 and 4.
Well, one, you have to maximize your possessions offensively. You need to score on your possessions, and you need to have the ball for a significant amount of time. Keep the ball away from them. So even if you don't score on drives, use up some clock. And obviously, you need to keep scoring and scoring because they're going to score. Defensively, I think you need to create turnovers. It sounds easy enough. You need to create turnovers on offense, but you need to put them in situations where you need to, rattle Isaac Stiebling, get to him, get a guy in his face, because I don't think that offensive line has done a tremendous job for Snider the first month of the season, where Stiebling can kind of sit back there and do what he wants most of the game. So you need to rattle him, force him to make some throws into coverage and make some mistakes, cause a couple fumbles. I mean, that's a big thing. That's what we saw when Homestead lost to Dwenger. You need that first half that Homestead had and force some mistakes, and then you're in the game at halftime, in the game in the third quarter, and then you can kind of get some momentum and confidence and maybe pull one out.
X factor to me is Mac Hippenhammer, because he's a guy, we've seen them do it at Lures with Austin Mack more so this season, where they get him the Wildcat. Just figure out a way to get an athlete some touches.
Yeah.
They've done that with Hippenhammer more so than anybody else. Ran him out of the Wildcat. It's been effective. He's only a junior, had a visit to Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. So this guy, he's on the radar as far as recruiting goes. How do you stop a guy like that, and how critical is a player like that in this game where, maybe it is just 1 or 2 plays that make the big difference?
Yeah, you got to wrap up when you get him. I mean, he's just so slippery he can get away. And the problem with Snider is if you key on one player, let's take Bluffton, for example. Dwayne Eskridge, that's their team, right? Take him away or limit him, you're going to beat Bluffton. You take Mac Hippenhammer away, they got 4 or 5 other guys that can beat you. Mm-hmm. So that's the issue. So you can't really key on one guy at Snider because they have weapons all over the place. So key is to wrap him up, identify where he's at, but you can't really double or triple him because they have so many other weapons that can beat you.
On Carroll's offense, I think people thought Aiden Smith was just a drop-back passer.
Yeah.
I think we found out this season, and Homestead defense found out as well, this guy's a little bit more nimble than we maybe originally gave him credit for.
Tremendous footwork, and his ability to throw downfield out of the pocket across his body, just the arm strength and overall physical strength he has is tremendous. Made some great passes last Friday in that win over Homestead. I mean, the kid has all the tools. He can move, he can throw. He's just very dangerous. I mean, you see every Friday night why he's a Big Ten recruit going to Northwestern.
Bottom line, what do you see as the difference maker?
The difference maker, I think, is if Carroll can cause some mistakes on their defense with Snider's offense and put them into positions they don't want to be in, 3rd and longs, long drives, force some mistakes, because that's how you're going to beat Snider. Can teams do it? That's easier said than done. I really don't know if you can, at least a team in this area that can knock them off. At Penn, sitting there, yeah, of course. But right now, somebody's got to prove me wrong, because Coach Hall's been giving me crap all year that I'm putting Snider on this pedestal, but until somebody proves me wrong, they're going to stay up there in my mind.
Yeah, they are. They have been dangerous, no doubt about it, every Friday night.